In this week's brand new episode of Hill Climb Monsters in Project Cars 2, we're having some front wheel drive fun as the Opel Astra TCR takes on our Zero Coast Hill Climb course. Can this turbocharged Tourer spring a few surprises? Let's find out. What's going on, guys? My name is Batidio and welcome back to Project Cars 2 and a brand new episode of Hill Climb Monsters. And this week's challenger, as you can see on screen, is the Opel Astra TCR from 2016, or Vauxhall Astra depending on where you are in Europe. And the reason I decided to go for this car, well, there's three reasons primarily. The first one being, someone actually requested it on a previous video, my Mustang RTR Hill Climb Monsters episode. Someone left a comment, and it's on screen now. Imre Horvath, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, tell me I'm a moron in the comments. Everybody, do it. But he left a comment and said, hey, I don't think you did a proper front-wheel drive car yet for a time lap. I'd say you should see one of the front-wheel TC cars, what they can do. Or I think what he means is, you know, see what one of the front-wheel drive touring cars can do. And he's right, we haven't done a front-wheel drive car yet, so it's a little bit of a different challenge that I was looking forward to. The reason I decided to go for the Astra over the Mercedes, which is the other front-wheel drive touring car, is we've had quite a lot of Vauxhall Astras in our family. We've got one now, and we've had another 4 over the last 20-25 years or so we are fond of them. And the final reason, of course, is a lot of you will be aware this weekend marks the start of a brand new British touring car season, but more importantly with regards to this car, also the start of a brand new British TCR season as well. So I'm sure a lot of you, myself included, are huge fans of touring cars. While Formula 1 is my favourite motorsport, it does get a bit boring and a bit samey when Mercedes are always winning and getting pole positions. But with touring cars, there's always something happening. Front of the grid, back of the grid, in the middle. There's always something going on. There's always close racing. It's always exciting to watch. So we're going to commemorate the start of a brand new season by driving this, I suppose. Take a look at the actual stats for the car, though. As you can see on screen, pretty respectable. It's got a straight 4 engine, which from the reading I've done is a 2-litre turbocharged lump. So it's got a turbo. 6-speed sequential gearbox. All of that is good enough for 330 brake horsepower. It'll go all the way to 165 miles an hour, providing you can keep your foot in the go pedal long enough. And a 0 to 60 time of 3.9 seconds, which makes it the fastest accelerating touring car in its class when compared to the Megane, the BMW, and as we mentioned, the Mercedes as well. Coming in at £2,800, which I think, if my maths is correct, I could be wrong, at 1.2 tons. I think I've got that right. If I haven't, tell me tell me again. I'm a moron in the comments. Doesn't feature any traction control, stability control, ABS, or any of that nonsense. The one annoying thing about this car, if you are wanting to drive it and you just got the standard edition of the game, you will need the Motorsport car pack, because this is a day 1 DLC car. I know, day 1 DLCs. What were you thinking, Slightly Mad Studios? What were you thinking? Shame on you. But yeah, so you will need that, and I don't think that is encompassed in the if you bought the season pass. I think you will still have to buy that and the Japanese car pack separately. But take a look at the practice and the setup of the car. Not a whole lot to do, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a very, very simple car to drive, very straightforward, but with it being front-wheel drive, I was acutely aware that understeer could be a problem, so I tried to head that off at the pass, so to speak. I did go 1 notch lower on the power and the coast ramp with the differential. I also went a little bit lower on the front, and I raised the rear ride height and softened up the rear roll bar as well, because I think that should aid turning as well. Also, I added I had another notch of downforce to the rear, because obviously with the front wheels dealing with the steering and the application of the power from the engine, the rear wheels don't really have much to do, so it can be a little bit difficult to keep heat in the tyres, which can create oversteer. So I went 1 notch higher on the downforce, just to sort of, you know, like, again, head that off at the pass. Also, with it being turbocharged, I did go 1 notch higher in terms of final drive, you know, to more towards acceleration. So I think it's at 3.9 when it started at 3.7. Again, just to get rid of those scenarios where if you get out a throttle long enough, then obviously it's going to bog down and you're going to get turbo lag, and it takes time for the turbo to spool up and deliver its boost again. So yeah, But like I said, it was a relatively simple car to drive. There were a few moments here and there in practice. One of them you can see on screen. I maybe took a little bit too much of a liberty through the magic roundabout, as I'm prone to doing in practice from time to time. And I clattered a wall, and basically, you know, the steering went all wonky, so I had to pull it off and restart the run. But like I said, it was a very simple car to drive, and it's a very, very fun car to drive as well. So I highly suggest you try it if you haven't already. Before we take a look at the full-blown time run, let's just refresh our memories with regards to the leaderboard. So the Jaguar XJR9 is still very much top of the leaderboard. It's been there since week 10, so it's the longest standing leading car for since the series began. So it's going to take something monumental to beat that, and I don't think the Astra's quite got it in there. What I think it should realistically be aiming at is maybe the Audi V8 DTM from week 1, because that's the only other touring car that we've done. So that did a 735.5. I think realistically it should be aiming for that, if not a little bit better, because it is obviously 25 years younger. But yeah, we'll see what it can do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over to the full-blown time lap and see what the Opel Astra TCR has to offer. Okay then guys, here we go. Opel Astra TCR on our Azure Coast hill climb course, and like I said, it's just such a really joyous car to drive. It really is, and it's surprisingly pointy as well. You wouldn't think that from a front-wheel drive car, but it's very responsive. It's very pointy at the front end, you know, even without the tweaks that I made to it. But it's come down to Cruise Liner corner again, very good through there, and down towards Trash Can corner now, again good through there. And the great thing about this being a front-wheel drive car is you can just get the power on so early. You don't have to worry about the rear getting out of shape with the rear-wheel drive cars that, you know, that have quite a lot of power. You can just get your foot in it and away you go. But coming down to the magic roundabout here, we saw we had problems the previous time, but we thread the needle, take a little bit of a bump on the inside on the island, but we make it through. And off we go down towards Stickman Squats. I did have a few problems with this corner, but I managed to get it right this time around. While it's very pointy, it can be a little bit sluggish through those quick changes of direction, but we did okay there. And now we're on to the Happy Highway, the first time we're going to get to have maybe a little bit of a breather. Very involved first part of the run, as we know, yeah, coming down the Happy Highway, this is one of the few cars that doesn't get air. I don't know whether it's a case that they've tweaked the settings of the game, but as we come across the crest, it's 140 miles an hour. We're going to get all the way up to 148 miles an hour. But coming through Traffic Cone corner, we don't really have to lift. I was off the throttle maybe 10% and then back on it again. So that should tell you just how good this thing is. But coming down now towards Stonewall corner, there was a little bit of oversteer through here, which actually helped us get it to the corner a little bit. So I didn't have to adjust it. You just kind of it just helps the front end get in a little bit better. But as we come down towards understeer corner, we almost get caught out a little bit here. We come down to third. I had been trying it in second, but I tried it in third, and we almost get into the barrier on the outside there. But coming into Ice Cream Cove, again, this was one of the areas where you really had to work just to try and get the car to where you want it to be. Those fast changes of direction, as I said, it can be a little bit sluggish. But we make it through, not quite on the apex there for that corner, but I don't think we lose too much time there. And onto Cobra Run now. And again, these fast changes of direction were where this thing was probably the most challenging part of this run, I think, coming down into here. But as we come down to Captain Slow corner, this is one of the rare cars where I didn't have to go down to first. I could do it in second. So again, that was very good. And again, because it's front wheel drive, no hesitation on that bumpy exit. You just get on the power and away you go again. But as we come down towards the end of the first sector, and I can tell you, I'm not going to tell you the times, but we were doing pretty well up until this point. But coming into Silver Spoon Village now, and again, this was an area where did have a couple of troubles here and there. It wasn't too bad, you know, but this was one of the better runs I had. And coming now down towards the newly named McDanger Curve, down towards Outrun. Again, it's so good through here. It really is. Situations where I'd have to lift, didn't have to lift at all through any of this. It was just absolutely superb. Did have a couple of accidents through there, but again, relatively simple. I think I maybe scrubbed off a little bit too much speed for Fraggle Rock corner, but I don't think we lose too much time through there. But coming now down towards Bridge corner, we're actually going to lock the brakes up just a tad. which makes us having to adjust a little bit the way we take it, but again, it's not going to cost us too much time. And up towards the entrance of the Monga Macrae Hill Complex, and I struggled with this corner a little bit, not so much the entry but the braking. It was just, this thing is very good under braking as well. So for that corner as well, I got caught out braking a little bit earlier than I had to, and again, another bit of a lock up there, get down into second, get the nose in early, and just have it come around. On some of my practice runs through that corner, I actually had what I could only describe and I believe would have been torque steer. So pretty good representation of this car, I'd say. Get the nose in again for this one, get on the grass a little bit, helps you get the nose around, especially in this front wheel drive car, and again through here, just to make your entry and exit just a little bit cleaner. And now we're going to come over the bumps, and again we're going to have a bit of a lock up through here. Again, just unloading those front and rear tyres, but through Mirage 1 and Mirage 2, it wasn't too bad. A little bit more tricky through Mirage 2, just trying to keep it out of that wall on the right, but we do pretty well there. I didn't get the optimal exit that I wanted to, but again, I don't think it cost us too much time in the grand scheme of things. Down the pogo stick straight, we're going to get an okay amount of air. This thing doesn't really fly very well like some of the other cars, and that probably is just down to the amount of speed that this thing gets compared to some of the other cars, but again, it's still no slouch. But yeah, coming through here again, it was very good over the bumps and the crests. I wasn't having to get out the throttle, I just kept your foot straight in it, and it just, you know, it jumped straight and true. It wasn't like the front was coming down before the back, or vice versa, as we've seen in previous cars. And again, it was very, very good through here, down onto the Great Ocean Highway. And coming down towards the end of Sector 2, again, we're doing quite well. I'm not going to tell you the times, but through here, I did have a couple of accidents through here in practice, just because through the longer corners towards the back end, I was still getting a little bit of understeer. But we made it through there. I was kind of conscious of that. I think I maybe could have gone a bit quicker through there, but again, it was still very, very good. And now coming through the tunnel towards the viaduct straight, I didn't take that as quick as I had in previous runs, so I think that did cost us just a tad, just a little bit of time there. But again, this car is just so much fun to drive, it really is, and it's so simple to drive. If you are new to sim racing and new to project cars, you've just got a steering wheel in this game so far, I highly suggest this should be one of your first ports of call, because it's a very accessible car to drive, and it's set up very well from the start as well. But coming into sweeps again, very, very good. You know, I could pretty much just put it where I want it. I did have a bit of trouble through here getting exactly the entry and the mid part of the corner as I wanted it to. But again, I don't think it cost me too much time in the grand scheme of things. And again, these corners, you know, there's a little bit of a camber to them, so you get your nose in nice and early. It can help you get through the corner. It will drag you around. But coming down onto Rocky Road, and this is where I thought maybe it would get caught out. And as we come down through this right-hander now, you can see very hesitant, almost in the wall there, very, very close. Maybe just skim the paint just a little bit through there. But as we come through the tunnels, again, this corner, this longish right-hander can catch some front-wheel drive or understeery cars out, but this, absolutely none of it. It's so, so good. We're going to keep it in fifth and drop down to third, get our nose in nice and early, get back on the power straight away, and through the final tunnel, down towards the line. And it's going to be a time of 7 minutes 22.560. So not only has it beaten the Audi from week 1, it's also beaten the Skyline and come within 5 seconds of a Lamborghini Diablo GTR. So this thing is absolutely brilliant, it really is. And like I said, I can't tell you how much I enjoyed this car. It was so much fun to drive. And the other great thing, as you can see from the full-blown leaderboards, we've actually put a touring car on the first page of the leaderboard, which is pretty good considering the majority of them are, you know, V8 supercars. And the whole run itself, I was a little bit annoyed when I saw this, because I did drop 0.2 of a second through the middle sector, which I think could have put me maybe in, you know, very, very close to 9th. But again, I think that's still a very, very respectable time. The other annoying thing with this run, however, and this time, is that because this car and the Audi fall into the same touring car or the same category with regards to the leaderboards, it means that the Audi V8 DTM time is no longer on the leaderboards, which is disappointing even more so, because at the time of doing this, while it was midway down page 2, I think it was in like 14th place or something like that, it was still the fastest Group A time on the leaderboards. So I'm a little bit disappointed, and I'm still annoyed at the way Slightly Mad Studios have decided to do the leaderboards. But all in all, a very, very good run, a very enjoyable car to drive as well. And it's on the first page of the leaderboard, so I think that's, again, warrants a bit of applause. A pat on my back, a slap on my backside. Maybe not that last one, but whatever. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of today's episode, guys. If you are planning to drive this car, like I said, go for it. It's not, don't be put off by the fact that it's got a level 2 difficulty rating. It's not hard to drive at all. I didn't find it to be, and it is a lot of fun. You can fling it around, it will just stick and stick and stick. But yeah, if you haven't tried it yet, go and do it, because it's absolutely brilliant to drive. But yeah, like I said, guys, that's the end of today's episode, so thank you once again so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, you would like to see more Project Cars 2 Hill Climb Monsters, or just general racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments, guys, are there any other cars you would like me to drive? As I've shown, I'm happy to take your suggestions and give them a go. So if you have a suggestion or a car you would like to see me drive around our Azure Coast Hill Climb, then let me know in the comments, guys. But once again, thank you everybody so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.